Hello, this is Broyar, and welcome back to the episode of our Let's Play for Football Manager 2020. And we have done it, guys. We have made it to the League 2. We've gotten promoted out of made it to League 1. Got promoted out of League 2 through the playoffs, which is the hard way to do it. Kind of the way we've been doing it all along so far. I think this is our third or fourth time to go through the playoffs. So we're definitely doing it the hard way, but in some ways it's also, just a little bit more special because you're having to play those extra games against some tough teams and proving that you deserve to be in the next league up. So there you go. I think it feels pretty good. But we're there. So we've got a lot of work ahead of us, obviously, if we want to try and stay up. Because, our team that we have now is pretty good, but we're going to need some new pieces for sure to be able to stay up in League 1 and not get relegated again. So that's going to be our goal for this offseason, is to really dig into some of the transfers and figure out what we can do. But we're about to dig into the awards, and we'll go from there. So let's get into the episode. All right, so here we are in game. Just a couple notes that we do have 16 games unbeaten is a new team record. Pretty cool. Fourth place, obviously, in League 2 is a new record high, which makes sense. That's logical. And then, of course, 9 draws in the season is a new team low. So that's pretty good. It's a good start. Here's the players inducted into our best overall 11. Let's see here. Who do we got? Straken was the pick of the 4. Apparently, so that's good. It's awesome to see Straken in there. And then we've got Walcott, Byrne, and Lewis Jones were the other players selected to become a part of our history. So Lewis Jones is, I guess, coming in on the bench here. And Yates is still kind of starting for the best 11 as a goalkeeper. But Lewis Jones is definitely working his way up there and doing very, very well for himself. Let's see. Byrne is coming in. Is he coming in as a starter? Yes, he is, of course. I mean, come on, Joe Byrne. It's so sad to see him leave. It'd be awesome to try and get him back because he's done very, very well for us, but we'll see. And then we got Malachi Walcott coming in here as one of our defenders as a starter, as well as Straken, of course. So pretty good lineup there. We've got some good guys. Cuvalier, I remember. Obviously, Dolan's been around. Is still around, actually. O'Connell, sort of around. So we got some pretty awesome players that we've had over time. And it's good to see these new 4 players come into the mix. Let's see here. Anybody here? 6 are now retired. Wow. Lupano, Dolan, and O'Connell are still with us. Jaden Meadow-Smith is currently playing for Notts County. Neville playing for Cork City. And Carbush plays for Billericay Town. Of course, he's just our... he's out on trial right now, so we should be able to bring him back. Not trial, sorry. Loan. He's out on loan right now. We should be able to bring him back. Hopefully he's developed enough to be, at least one of our backups, if nothing else. He's been a pretty decent player for us overall. Here's our awards. Player of the season is Stuart O'Connell, with David Kelly picking up a second, playing from this left side. It looks pretty good. And of course, Walcott picking up third. That seems pretty reasonable, although it is a little surprising not to see Joe Byrne in this mix, unless for some reason, because he had to leave the team at the end of the season after he got injured, does he not qualify anymore? Because it does feel like he should be here. But anyway, O'Connell, number 1. I can't argue too much with that. Goal of the season from Jalil Sayati. And let's see what that goal was. Against Rockdale. It's Blakely. Sorry. Gets the ball all the way over to Sayati. Sayati's going to kick it from right about there, isn't he? Right there. Boom. Pretty solid goal. I mean, goal of the season? I don't know. I mean, it's a pretty solid goal. Pretty well done. So... Can't argue too much with that. It was pretty nice to see that one. Signing of the season was David Kelly, picking him up. We did pay a lot of money for David Kelly, but he proved worth it so far this season. And of course, Stuart O'Connell is the young player of the season. I mean, if we could keep bringing him back on loan for a little bit longer or buy him back, that would be awesome. Overall stats, 34 goals from Stuart O'Connell. Amazing output from him. He had the highest average after Joe Byrne left. Most assists gave David Kelly. Sounds pretty good coming up that left side. Pass completion, Tyrese Dolan at 87%. Most player of the match awards was Stuart O'Connell. Again, I think Joe Byrne might have had close to that many. I'm not sure. Again, he's probably not getting counted here. And then most yellow cards was Peter Kelly, one of our central midfielders, with no red cards for the team, which is awesome. That is the way to see the season go out. I mean, look at this. We started so poorly for so long. Started working our way back up, and then we dipped down through here. it was a tough slog here at the end to work our way back up. The boys played very, very well. Side of 2019. I mean, what was that? 7 years ago? 6 years ago? A few guys have moved on. Club vision and expectations. They want us to continue to play high-tempo pressing football. They want us to play defensive solid football and make the most of set pieces. Seems pretty normal. That's what we've been doing already. Work within the wage budget. We will try. Although we actually did a pretty good job of working within the wage budget they set for us. Although we did go outside the fair play budgets that were assigned to us. Build a new stadium. Okay, yeah, that sounds like an interesting, fun idea to build a new stadium. Actually, building a new stadium as we go into League One should still have a decent number of seats, and hopefully have some expansion opportunities if we do make it all the way up to the championship or to the Premier League. Excuse me. It's a Football Manager video. I'm gonna yawn. This is the way it is. It just does not make sense to me. So, one thing I will touch on real quick. Speaking of building a new stadium in the future and things like that. Obviously, as most of you guys know that probably watch this, you're probably more aware of it than probably even I am. The new version of Football Manager 2021 comes out on the 24th of November, I believe, which means we have about 6 weeks left of this series, maybe 5-6 weeks, something like that, before that comes up. I guess it's probably closer to 5 weeks. But anyway, point being, we're not going to be able to get all the way to the Premier League in this run through. So what we'll have to do is decide what we want to do for next season. I'm not sure if I want to do another Broyar FC, starting at the bottom, working our way up. If I just want to be like starting off as just a manager myself of a low team and just working my way around to see what kind of teams I can manage. Something like that. I mean, one of those types of things I think is the most fun for me personally. So we'll figure out what we would like to do, and that will be coming up soon, shortly, whenever. End of next season, fight bravely against relegation. Sounds pretty logical. And then work towards becoming an established League One team. Overall good dressing room atmosphere. Oh yeah, we have to actually negotiate and accept this. No, I mean, I'm okay with all this, to be honest. There's no. Yeah, this is all fine. If anything, I'd like to do better than that. All right. Excuse me. End of season team meeting. Discuss plans for next season. We're good enough to not be involved in relegation battle next season. That will be what your lucky target. Let's see here. You should all be aware by now that the club has a stated objective: become an established Vanarama North by the end of the next season. I therefore need you to all report back for preseason with nothing less than 100% focus on what. It's not even possible. Like, even if we were the worst team in the history of bad teams, we couldn't be a Vanarama North team by the end of next season. We would have to get relegated 3 times to get back to the. What? Okay, sometimes some of these, I think that's a little bugged out. Let's see here. I believe you can keep us up next season. Oh, no chance of beating the drop. Well, you know what? At least a couple of our players think highly of us. Okay, all we can do is work as hard as possible to avoid the drop. There we go. Fair enough. I mean, people weren't super happy with that response, but I mean, I didn't see. Was there an option to say avoid the I don't know. Maybe I misread some of the options. I thought that was the best option I could come up with. Team meetings at the end of the year sometimes are pretty tough. All right. Well, we'll be right back with the first of any changes to our squad. So I will see you guys shortly. All right, just real quick, we will look here. We did O'Connell did get goal scorer award of the year, top goal scorer. He had 31 goals total in the league, compared to 18 goals and 17 goals from the other two. He almost had as many goals as the next two combined. That's pretty awesome. That is pretty awesome. And then we've got only one player named in the player team of the year, and that is O'Connell. I mean, rightly so. And of course, I mean, Leighton Orient here, they had a monster team as well, so I'm not too surprised that they have most of them. But yeah, that's well deserved, buddy. Well deserved. All right, we'll be right back with more news. All right, we are back, and as you can see, not a lot has happened so far. We have brought in Billy Morrison. We already agreed to him last season sometime, and so he comes in as a 3-star current and a 3.5-star, actually 4.5-star potential, maybe as much as that. So probably a decent talent. I mean, we only spent 350 pounds on him, so not really costing us a whole lot. So we'll see what he does. I mean, his contract's only 275 pounds per week. So if he just falls on his face, so be it. If not, then cool. We also brought Will Swan back. You guys may remember we got rid of Will Swan last season for 35,000 pounds, and we brought him back for 42,000. Why did we do that? Well, because we're a little shorter on strikers than we might have remembered. We'll get to that in just a minute. We also have Shane Hunt coming in here. He was another guy we agreed to last season. Just kind of throw something at the wall and see if it sticks type of thing. He has a lot of potential. Not a lot of current ability, but a lot of potential. So if he does something, he does something. If not, he only costs us a few thousand pounds. Not a big deal. As you can also see here on the right-hand side, we have sold on Jalil Sayadi. He wasn't super happy with us for a long time. He played pretty well, honestly. He really did play pretty well towards the end, especially. Overall, though, 6.77 average. Not amazing, but not terrible. So we bought him for 10.5K, sold him on for 97,000. To me, that feels like a pretty good piece of business. I mean, it does mean our squad is weaker now, but I think we still have to maintain the idea that we've got to continue to try and get some money into the league, into the squad, and then maybe we could turn some of that money we got from him back into another player that might be better. So that's going to be the goal. We're about a week into preseason, so we still have our work cut out for us, but we still have some time. We still have a little bit of time. We're really going to see what we can do with the squad. Speaking of squad, like I mentioned, we are short on strikers because O'Connell, as best I could try, we could not get him back on a loan, and mostly because his team wanted to play him as a starter now, which, whoops, I guess he did so well with us that his team decided to say, you know, hey, he's actually a pretty good player. Let's start playing him ourselves. So all of our loanies are gone except for Sandman. We were able to extend him. Really, really good 4-star player. Obviously, we did well for us this last season. 6.96, not bad, honestly. Not bad at all. So we got him back, and so we look at the team report, squad depth. If we continue with our 4-3-3, for now we're going to start playing it. We may have to adjust once we get into the league, see how it fares against other teams. We really have Ellis Sims, Swan, and Strachan as our first 3 strikers. Alexander and Morrison come in as some backups. So there's some potential for people to move around, move up, whatever. We'll see what happens there. Midfield, because we lost Sayadi, we have Dolan, Cannon, and Kelly. Strachan can play back here technically. We got this Dan Jones guy. And we also have like guys like Darren McCabe, which I would like to play a little bit more of Darren McCabe because he has some potential to do some really good stuff, and I would like to try and see if we can get that going for him. Finally, in the back, we have Salmon, obviously, and Walcott holding up their normal roles. Karbuch comes back from loan. Is at least going to be good enough for a backup role with Josh Nolan as well. Whitaker probably playing over here on the right-hand side with Vontae Daly Campbell playing behind him. And then we've got David Kelly going to be playing on the left-hand side with maybe Glenn Terry backing him up. So sort of a similar team from last season. Maybe a few. So far, only one new face, really. I mean, I say one new face. One returning face, Will Swan. Other than that, though, everything else is pretty normal. But like I said, we're not done yet. We're going to keep trying to see if we can get a few more players. I mean, I'd like to get a better player maybe on the left-hand side, but at the same time, David Kelly played really well last season, so maybe we give him another chance, see what he can do. But really, at this point, we're still just kind of playing the game of just find good players. If we get another good midfielder, another good striker, just some good players that we can plug in here to just give us that little bit of extra edge to try and stay up this season. So we'll see what we can do. But like I said, we're going to keep at it, so I will return when I have more news. All right, we are back, and as you can see before you, not a lot has happened. Although I did change shirts because it's a new day for me. So, but yeah, I mean we've gotten 2 more players in. One of them's mostly just going to be a backup. That's Kalama here. In fact, we'll check him out real quick. He's balanced personality. He's got some decent physicals. Not the greatest technicals, to be honest. Okay mentals. I mean, he's got 3-star current ability. Maybe 4.5-star potential. He's only 19 years old, and we're only paying him 240 pounds per week. So really not costing us a lot to try and risk something on him. Overall, though, I mean, he hasn't really played anywhere. He's been playing. I mean, he's been under Fulham in the Premier Division and Sky Bet Championship. So he hasn't played for them yet. But if we go look at him and compare him, not compare him. Sorry, I want to look at coach report. There we go. If we go look at the coach report for Tondry, who's got our best, judging, he comes in as our third place center back. So that's a pretty good spot to be for a backup. I mean, Sam and Walcott, they're not going to be able to play every single game. So bringing Kalama in here to both be able to develop a little bit, as well as play as a backup, not costing us a lot. I mean, I think is a really good fit for us overall. I mean, what happens? I mean, if he fails, he fails. I mean, we really didn't spend much on him. Luke Olford, we actually are spending a little bit more on. He comes in. He is a left wing back, fullback, I should say. This is his primary role. Not the greatest technicals. Okay physicals. A little bit better on the mentals, honestly. He's fairly determined personality. 25 years old, so a little bit older. So probably not going to develop that much more. Potentially up as high as a 3.5 star. Career stats. Yeah, I mean, he's been playing in League One for a while. With okay stats, passable stats, and we'll see if he can kind of show up for us and do something better for us. If not, it's not the end of the world. We got him on a free transfer, and he's already valued at £86,000. So, hey, if worse comes to worse, and we just sell him on, then maybe we made some money off him. But yeah, coming in as a coach report, he actually comes in as our best, as you would expect, best wing back on the left hand side. And he can actually play central defender. He can play on the right. He can play as midfielder. He can sort of play as a defensive midfielder, and he can even play as a wing back if we want to push him up for some reason. So he's got some possibilities. Again, not the most amazing player in the world, but maybe slightly better than David Kelly. And David Kelly played very well for us last season. So, and we may still, use these two guys as a 1-2 punch. Definitely brings us a little bit of depth in that spot. In fact, if we go look at our team report and our squad depth, you're actually going to see a few trials on here. Some of which we're looking at, we're thinking about. But yeah, like there's Luke Ofer, there's Kelly. Next up is Glenn Terry. And that's it. That's basically it over here on the left-hand side. I mean, there's a couple guys here on trial that actually probably play more on the right-hand side. And that's why we've got them here on trial. Like this Ellis Jones and Ricky Keane. Kind of hoping one of them could come in, especially if Ellis Jones comes in as a 4-star. That would be amazing. If he's only a 3-star, which is all we could see right now, is he really that much better than Whitaker? Maybe not. Smith comes in here, potential as high as 3 stars. He probably wouldn't be that much better than what we've already got, to be honest. So I don't know if we'll bring him in. These are actually guys we're thinking about bringing in on loan. I should clarify. Sluka up here though, 4-star current ability striker, 21 years old, from Slovakia, or I guess he's Slovak. Slovakia, right? Anyway, and so he comes in, he's got some decent overall stats. He's got the normal heart shape that you kind of want to see on a striker, although probably I would prefer a little bit more speed if it was completely up to me. But he's got some potential. So he might come in as that spot. We are kind of sort of trying to get rid of Ellis Sims, to be honest, because he's just not happy with me at all. And so if we can get rid of him and bring Sluka in there, that would be great. And maybe even still bring in Adams as well. If he turns out to be pretty good as well. I mean, his shape is very strange. A little bit more speed. Just no aerial whatsoever. So I don't know. You really don't know sometimes. And then who else are we trying to push on? Whitaker. We're trying to push Whitaker on. Excuse me. He's just not happy right now as well. And so we've got a couple offers for him, although the offers they were giving me I didn't really like. So we're gonna see if we can get some better offers for him, hopefully. And then the other person we're trying to push on is, who is it? Is it one of my strikers? Another one of my strikers? Yeah, George Alexander. George Alexander is very unhappy with me right now. We're trying to push him on. He's valued 125,000. So, would be very. No, is it George Alexander? I don't think this is it. George Mckenzie. That's what it is. George Mckenzie. I was gonna say it wasn't valued at 125,000. George Mckenzie valued at 41K, and really just not happy with us at the moment. So we'll push him on, see what we can get for him, and get a little bit of money back in the bank. I'm stalling some offers for Sims. They only offered me 120,000 for him, which is fine. It's exactly how much he's valued at. I mean, technically we got him on a free last season, so pushing him on for 120K this season is pretty good. The reason I got rid of this offer, which I don't think I can see anymore, is because they wanted me to pay like most of his wages, I think. Yeah, they wanted me to pay most of his wages, which I was like, no, no. I mean, they were going to offer me 41K, but then me pay most of his wages. Like, no, I don't think so. And then Whitaker was just a really bad offer. They only gave me a 14K offer. He's valued at 56K. I prefer to get a little bit more for him if at all possible. So yeah, we do have, like I said, a bunch of guys on trial. We're gonna try and work through those guys, see if we can get any of them on loan. Continue to try and get some guys on free transfer, things like that, and see what else we can do to improve the squad. But I mean, the squad's getting there. I mean, I think it's a passable squad. It's some 3-star talent here and there, and it's not a bad squad overall. But I definitely think we need a few more key players. So we'll see what we can do. We'll be back with any more information. Alrighty, we are about 2 days away from the start of the season. And we've done a little bit more work. Not a lot, though. We do have 3 new players that we've brought in, and we have removed 2 players from the team. Ellis Sims, as I mentioned, was very, very unhappy with us. Although his parting comments were, "Thanks, boss. I would love to play for you again." Go figure. But we got 120K for him, and like I said, we got him in on a free last season, so it's a pretty good flip in my opinion. And then below him, we got Caboose went out. He was actually on a non-contract, so I don't know how we got any money for him, but we got 120 bucks from him, or 120 pounds from him. So whatever. Caboose is on his way. He was going to be fitting in the team anyway, so all is well with that. If nothing else, if we were paying him month to month, I guess it does take him off the books, I suppose. But we did bring in 3 new players, and there's a catch with these 3 players. And we'll get into that. You might notice some pattern as I walk through these players. First up, we have James Collins here. Current 3.5 star, potential 3.5 star. He's played for Luton. Luton, is that how you say that? He's played for Crawley. I mean, he's played for everybody. I mean, look at this. Premier Division, Sky Bet, League 1, 2, Championship, all over the place. Last few seasons, I mean, not amazing stats, but relatively good stats. I mean, he could come in as a pretty good support player, I think. And if nothing else, he comes in with a lot of experience. He's 34 years old. Yes, I'll get it. No, I mean, we're paying him a ridiculous amount of money. Really, he's coming in to really kind of give us a foundation on our striker team and give us some leadership and some experience. He comes in as a great pressing forward, and he doesn't have a lot of quickness, obviously, because he's old. But if he can just kind of get in there and just kind of disrupt a little bit and let the younger guys kind of do most of the kind of the quick movements, then I think he might have a a temporary role for this year. It's really just a 1-year deal, right? I think it's only 1-year deal. Why not? Let's throw something at him, see what he can do. Like I said, he's got some really good overall leadership, teamwork. Fairly determined. I mean, he's a really good player. He's just an old player. Which is why we got him. So we'll see if he can kind of, like I said, lift up that striker core. Some young guys up there on the striker side of things, and see if he can kind of give them a little bit of leadership and some guidance there. Again, they're going to see a pattern. Next player up, Jack Sourbee. Comes in as a midfielder. Oh yeah, 30 years old. 3.5 star current, 3.5 star potential. Obviously, he's reached his potential. Comes in as a fairly well-rounded player. He can play pretty much anything. Box to box, Mazzala. Advanced playmaker, deep lying playmaker, anything. Not too bad. He comes in from Leyton Orient, who was obviously a really good team that we played against last season. And, he played pretty well, close to 7s for the last 2 seasons for them. So 13 goals from a midfielder. It's not half bad. So we'll see. Like I said, he's going to come in, bring some experience. We don't have to worry about him. This is just like the striker. We don't have to worry about Sourbee. He's going to come in. He's a balanced personality. He doesn't have great leadership. He's got, decent teamwork and work rate and stuff like that. So he's just going to come in and anchor that midfield and really, like I said, just give us that leadership that we might be lacking right now. And then finally, again, pattern, Dan Scar, 30 years old, central defender. Now, he doesn't probably come in as a starter, maybe. Most likely kind of a frequent backup. But same kind of deal with him. He's played for, League 1, League 2 teams. Not the greatest season last season, although he only played 8 appearances. So we'll see if he can do something this season. He's had a couple good seasons, relatively decent seasons. So really, again, I kind of felt like, we got three players, attacking midfield and defenders that are all, 30 or older that are going to come in and just hopefully bring some leadership qualities, bring some overall just teamwork dynamics, just experience to our fairly young squad before this. And if they don't play a lot, they don't play a lot. Honestly, if it's just a year or two for each of them, just to get us until we can get some new players, then I think it's well worth it. So I don't know. Let me know what you guys think. Is it worth bringing? I mean, I didn't have a vision thing where it said we had to hire or bring in young players. Normally, I have had it in the past, and I normally go with young players, and I do have a lot of young players. But I think occasionally bringing in an older player again for that experience. I can't imagine there's too much wrong with that. As long as you know what you're getting. Um, Again, I would love. I haven't got any loans really at all. The only loan I have right now is Sandman. I have not been able to find anybody that's worth loaning in at all. There's a couple guys that I wanted to loan. Oh yeah. Uh, what was the guy's name? Sanka? No. Salka? No. Setka. No, it's not Setka. I honestly don't remember his name. I mentioned him a few minutes ago, and I just totally forget what his name was. Um, Slika? Sluka. Sluka. Yes, Sluka. This is the guy that I wanted to bring in, and if you look here, if I go over here to loan offer, wait, well, it's not Sluka. Well, it can't be Sluka. Yeah, Slovak, Sluka. Just random curiosity. There's no way they would like. Yeah, they're not going to let me have him, right? Because they were wanting, me to pay his full wages, which is, 1.8K. That's fine, whatever. But they were also wanting me to pay $22,000 a month, whether I played him or not. And I was like, I can't pay $22,000 a month for someone like this. That's just insane. Um, there's no way they're gonna let me have him for 52, right? Just no possible way. No, they want 1.2 mil. So I mean, he's a good player, obviously. Uh, they might be overvaluing him a smidge, but it is what it is. Um, so yeah, we couldn't bring him in. It was just ridiculous. There was actually another player that I might bring in, and let me see if we have him available. Billy Adams. I did write his name down because I was serious about trying to get him in. I thought he came in as a potential decent player. I mean, maybe as good as Sims, and again, obviously we don't have Sims anymore. So if I go over here to make an offer, I mean, they're not going to let me have him for 40K, right? They let me have him for 400K. How much do I actually think he's going to be worth anything? He's unambitious. Probably not worth bringing in from that level. But would they let me loan him in? Really? They were only let me loan him in earlier, which is sad. It was not the worst deal ever. It's sad to see that I don't want to bring an unambitious player in. I mean, if he was like determined with some of these stats, I might try and spend a few $100,000 on him. But he just, you know what? Let me try this. See, no, I don't want to spend that much money on him. If he had any sort of good personality whatsoever, I might be worth it. But I just don't think he's going to be good enough. Excuse me. So now what? I honestly don't know. I mean, we've got a decent team. If you look at Tondry, actually, he's got Collins down here as a 3-star, which is fine. But he does have Sourbee as a 3.5, Scar as a 3-star. Whitaker moves up to a 3-star. Whitaker's actually happy to stay now, so I removed his transfer thing. He's happy again. We'll keep him. I think he's going to play pretty well. We've got a decent team. Don't get me wrong. We've got a decent team. I would love an impact striker. That's the thing. So I was trying to find a good impact striker that I could loan back in, and I just have not been able to find one. We'll go through these real quick. I mean, we'll offer some trials here. Hey, Rob Martin. I mean, what's your story, man? Balanced personality. Pretty good speed. Physicals. Not the greatest aerial. I mean, do I offer a blind offer here? There's no way, right? I wouldn't. That would be silly, right? Actually, what if I just offered like... I'm scared. What if they actually say yes? Do I actually want this guy? I don't know much about him. What's his history? Has done basically nothing. Okay, so they want 2 mil. Would they let me loan him though? They'd let me loan him. I mean, they want me to pay full wages, but he could come in as a decent, right? I mean, it's not amazing, but he could come in as a decent player, right? Great pace, very agile. Kind of gives me that balance of, you know, old guy versus young guy. Yeah, honestly. I guess I could always turn it down later, right? Say yes. We're paying full wages, obviously, but we had a little bit of room left in our budget, to be fair. And honestly, if we don't use any of our transfer budget, we got a lot of room left in our budget because there's a lot I can move over from the transfer budget. Like, I don't know what else to do. I mean, we've got some loan spots available. We might, I mean, bringing a guy in loan. I mean, we're paying him full wages, which is a little crazy. But I don't know what else we would need. I mean, what else we should bring in? Would love some really strong impact players in a couple places, but you know, another strong midfielder would be amazing. But I haven't really been able to find anybody else. In fact, let's just go look real quick. I know I'm doing this live with you guys. Usually I try to do a lot of this stuff, you know, on my own, but you know, let's just do it together. Here, let's go check out here. Anybody that we've scouted in the midfield. I don't know who Mohamed Ghayan is or how good he is. I mean, this is saying his current ability is 3-star. That's at that position. Does it say what his ability is? Midfielder? He's just a 3-star. I mean, he's got a lot of potential. Don't get me wrong. Fairly ambitious. Good physicals. I mean, for my level, to be fair. I mean, I don't know. Do we loan somebody like this in here as well? I suppose worst comes to worst, we loan him in and we don't do anything. Especially if we, I mean, what if you just, I mean, just crazy. Yeah, I was gonna say you want 11 million bucks from him, which is insane. Why do you want so much money for him? Like, why can't I get somebody for free? Let me have somebody loaned for free. Championship Andrew Gamble here. Andrew Gamble looks pretty solid. Do you let me loan him in? 21 years old. Make an offer. I mean, just for giggles. Yeah, I was gonna say they want. I mean, it's a little bit more reasonable. I'm not super happy with having to pay a whole bunch of wages, but honestly, not that bad. It's fairly sporting, which I'm not sure what that means. His physicals aren't amazing. Like, his jumping reach is terrible. Got some other good things though. His first touch is good. Deep line playmaker. Terrible history though, quite frankly. Really bad history over the last few seasons. Although he hasn't played a lot, to be fair. I mean, you get one game and you get a 6.5. I don't know what that says much. I mean, he played well in League 2. How's he going to play in League 1? But I feel like now I'm just kind of just grasping for anything I could find, which, you know, that's never a good way to go about it, obviously. So I don't know. I don't know what else to do. Like I said, I could bring somebody like that in. I mean, I could hold on to my last couple of loan spots and bring some people in later. I mean, I got this Charlton Courier guy in. How's he looking, actually? Squad depth. He's down there, honestly. It's actually not. I mean, can I get him in on his on a cheap? I mean, might be good guy to develop. Determined personality. That bodes pretty well. You want $1 million for him? You guys are insane. Absolutely insane. I mean, do I want to bring him on a loan just as a sub player? What else do we have to sub besides, like, Kelly can come into the sub, obviously. That's pretty much it, actually. McCabe, and that's about it. So honestly, bringing him in as a loan player would, or as a sub, would not be the best. Would not be the worst idea in the world. Well, he prefers to be on the right side. He's really not that good as a wing, as a midfielder. So no, I mean, I think we just got to hold off on our last couple loans and spots. See if we can get somebody somewhere. But yeah, I think we're going to put a cut in there. We'll see. If I get any more information, you guys will know. But like I said, first game up is in 2 days, so this is basically the team more or less. In fact, let's go look at our tactics real quick. We'll go ahead and selection advice real quick and see what they say, and then I'll make any adjustments I feel relevant. So we got Alexander up front. Huh. I mean, Alexander's actually been playing pretty well. With Swan and Morrison. Morrison is our new guy, right? No, Morrison's not a new guy. Sorry, he's an 18-year-old. Sorry, it's not even. They don't even have our new guy in here. We don't even have Collins in here at all. Well, why not? I mean, I feel like Collins can come in here for one of these guys. Pressing forward over here. Actually, probably make him the supporting pressing forward. Although he prefers to be an attacking. Alright, well, we'll make him an attacking pressing forward. See what that happens. Do we want Alexander to be my advanced forward? No, I think I'd rather have Swan up there, honestly. Something like that. Yeah, I'll try that. And then that gives us Sourbee over here. And we can move him to box. But I think I'm going to keep him where he's at. Advanced playmaker Dolan, that's good. Peter Kelly playing here, following midfielder. We got Daley Campbell, David Kelly on the left, Sam and Terry in the middle. I mean, these are pretty normal guys that we're pretty used to. I mean, we're only starting. I guess we are starting 2 of our older guys. I mean, like I said, the other older guy, Scar, was always going to be kind of a backup kind of dude anyway. So something like that is probably going to be what we're going to be playing, and we'll see. We're going to stick with the 4-3-3 just for now, but we may have to make some adjustments to the formation at some point. So, which if we do have limited players for different positions that we can work with, but we'll see what we can do. But anyway, like I said, we're going to go put a cut in there. Let me know what you guys think in the comments below. Some good things, some I wish had been a little bit better. We'll find out. I do appreciate you guys watching. May God bless you, and I hope you join me again next time. Thank you, and goodbye.